Hey everybody, welcome back to Top Demand. For most of us, we go about living our everyday lives with great ease and not much in our way. But for the people in this video, they have to live their lives a little differently. We're diving into the lives of 10 unusual people that live on this earth. But before we get started, hit the subscribe button with notifications so you never miss another video. Also, drop a comment on what you want to see from us in the future. Woman who lived in an iron lung. Martha Mason spent 61 years of her life living in an iron tube that has breathed for her after polio left her paralyzed. With most of her life confined to an 800-pound, 7-foot, airtight yellow tube that enabled her to breathe, Martha still managed to graduate high school, attend college, and write an autobiography. You might ask yourself, how would someone confined to a machine that encapsulates your body from your neck down be able to do all of this? Technology finally caught up, and in 1994, she purchased a voice recognition computer that allowed her to write about her life as she lived in an iron lung. Man who can withstand cold temperature. Wim Hof, also known by many as Iceman, has an incredible tolerance for cold. He holds the Guinness World Record for sitting in an ice bath for 1 hour, 52 minutes, and 42 seconds, something most people can only tolerate a few seconds. Hof attributes this remarkable endurance and ability to achieve this to a special meditation and breathing technique he's developed, which he says promises to light your inner fire. Strongest man in the world. In our opinion, Zydrunas Savickas is the strongest man of all time. You can't argue with the numbers and accolades this guy has accumulated over his career. Savickas has won the Arnold Strongman Classic 7 times, from 2003 to 2008, and then again in 2014. In 2005, he broke 3 world records en route to victory at the Strongman World Championship. As for his lifting totals, he managed to lift an impressive 900-pound deadlift, a 629-pound bench, and an 880 raw squat. I have a hard enough time getting out of bed most days, and this guy can lift this kind of numbers. Dang. Six-fingered pitcher. Referred to as El Pulpo, the octopus by his teammates, Antonio Alfonseca was a relief pitcher that played most recently for the Philadelphia Phillies. Having a condition known as polydactyly, which derives from the Greek words meaning many digits, Alfonseca was born with not only 6 fingers on each hand, but also extra toes on each foot. Most people born with this condition opt to get the extra digits removed at birth because of their lack of functionality, but not El Pulpo. With his grandfather having the same trait, he regards it with pride, as kind of a family emblem. Man who can eat anything. Michel Lotito, known by most as Monsieur Manchateur, Mr. Eat-All. He was made famous by being known for deliberately consuming indigestible objects. Mr. Eat-All's entertainment performances involved consumption of metal, glass, rubber, and other materials. But in 1978, he came up with the grand idea he was going to consume every single component of an entire Cessna 150. If you're like me and you're not quite sure what a Cessna is, it's a small propeller plane. A plane! Now, no normal person would think to themselves this would be a good idea, but Michel suffered from a psychological disorder known as pica, characterized as an appetite for substances that are largely non-nutritive. Bon appetit. Blind man that can see. Daniel Kish, who is completely blind, has successfully taught himself how to use echolocation to grant himself the ability to see once again. After being diagnosed with retinal cancer as a baby, Kish now had to deal with the inability to see, as now he had prosthetic eyes. But as Daniel grew up unable to see, he quickly learned that by making clicking noises with his tongue, he can create mental images of their surroundings by the sound reflecting back to him, just like our mammal friend, the bat. Today, he now trains others to see the same way as he does. Jigsaw Kid. On the outside, Bethany Jordan looks like any healthy little girl, but on the inside, she has been pieced together differently from everyone else. Dubbed the Jigsaw Kid, Bethany was born with Eve-Mark syndrome, a very rare disorder characterized by the poorly formed cardiovascular system and having organs in the wrong place. You may think to yourself, It can't be that bad, can it? Well, this 6-year-old was born with 5 spleens, a hole in her heart, a diseased liver, 2 left lungs, and her stomach on the wrong side. With all this going on inside of her, if she strains or has any rigorous activity, like any 6-year-old does, you can even see Bethany's heart beating through her back. Conjoined twins. For people to have twins is a normality nowadays. But to have twins that come out attached is a sight to see. Abby and Brittany Hensel are conjoined twins. Unlike most conjoined twins you may have seen in the past, the Hensel twins are dicephalic parapagous twins, meaning they have 2 heads on one single torso. With giving the appearance of having a single body, each has a separate heart, stomach, spine, spinal cord, and pair of lungs. Tree Man. Over in Bangladesh, a man named Abdul Bajendar suffers from a rare condition called epidermal dysplasia verruciformis. This disease causes Abdul to develop growths on his limbs that look exactly like tree branches, hence the nickname Tree Man. This condition is so rare that there have only been 200 confirmed cases that have been diagnosed in the world. Poor Abdul has been dealing with this condition for more than 20 years, as he was diagnosed with this disease when he was just 10 years old. When he first noticed the branches on his hands, he tried cutting them off himself, but they came back even worse. Because the branches have taken over the use of his hands, he has had to quit his job, and even the most basic tasks like brushing his teeth or eating with utensils has become impossible. Let's hope that eventually they can find a cure and Abdul can live a near normal life in the future. Angolan Java. Measuring at over 6.5 inches across, Joachim's mouth is so wide that he can fit an entire 330 milliliter can of soda in his mouth, sideways, and even spin it with his tongue. Nicknamed the Angolan Java in his home country, Joachim has the genetics to thank for this unusual gift. He suffers from a connective tissue disorder, which gives him the ability to stretch his mouth to such lengths. With having such an unusual skill, the Guinness Book of Records caught wind of Joachim's talent while they scoured YouTube for the next greatest thing. Since his rise to fame, he has become a sensation on social media as he continues to share his incredible feats to the world. Thanks again for tuning in. Don't forget to drop a comment on what you'd like to see next, and remember to send some good vibes and please subscribe. Until next time, take care.